everyone. Today I will be talking a little bit about effective feedback and how responsive teaching paired with effective feedback can help us close the learning gap. To start off with, effective feedback, of course, is useful information for our students about a performance, but it's also an important component of formative assessment. In order to be responsive teachers, we need to know our students' needs, and our students need to also be a part of the learning process and be aware of what they're doing well and what they need to improve upon. Feedback, of course, its purpose is to describe student work and give them information and also give us information as teachers on our lessons, but we need to strike a balance between judging a student's work and not discouraging them from improving in themselves. Feedback isn't one size fits all. Feedback varies in a variety of ways, from the timing of feedback and when it's delivered, to how it's delivered and who it's being delivered to. Feedback also varies in focus, so depending on the type of feedback, it could be about the student, it could be about the student's work, it could be about the student's behavior, or the student's, the process behind the work. As we can see in this picture, this is obviously an example of ineffective feedback. However, we're going to see that other ineffective feedback strategies are a little more challenging to determine. But first, let's start with effective feedback and characteristics of it. CHAPA states that effective feedback occurs during the learning, so students still have time to act on it. This is important so that students feel that they are in control of their learning and they can develop self-efficacy. Feedback also needs to be specific, so students can make guided improvements towards progress and their learning objectives and goals. Effective feedback also needs to address partial understanding. If a student doesn't understand an entire topic, feedback might not be the appropriate method. The teacher might need to go back and reteach or propose another instructional method, but feedback wouldn't be appropriate then. Success feedback is a method of effective feedback. It identifies what is being done correctly. It points out an effective use of strategy or a process. And here are two examples that I wrote of success feedback. Note that they're both very specific. Your analysis on John Locke was thorough. Your example improved your argument. So students know exactly what to look for and they know what they did well in their work. In regards to praise, this is something we all want to do for our students. We want to make them feel confident. We want to make them feel good. But if we're saying things such as, "You're so good at this," this could actually have negative effects on them and lead to a fixed mindset and self-defeating behavior, which we don't want in the classroom for them. So we definitely want to be praising on effort. This example here that I wrote, I'm praising the student on their study habits. As Cheryl Dweck says, that will lead to a growth mindset, which is something we want to encourage for all the students. Next step feedback identifies a correction. This is more challenging for us sometimes as educators because we have to describe a feature of a work that needs improvement. Well, it doesn't mean we should shy away from this because this is some of the most important feedback to give our students. Both of these examples here have a suggestion and a correction, so students still know it's specific what they need to work on exactly. Now, feedback is not a cure-all. We need to ensure that feedback is the appropriate instructional method for the given work or the given assessment. Not all feedback is created equal. Feedback done poorly has some adverse effects, as we can see here in this comment. An example of over-feedbacking. A student might have a feeling of lowered self-esteem or lose value of themselves or their work when we give them too much information or even too little information. Peer feedback in the classroom has a wealth of success and benefits on student achievement. It allows students to be the experts. It develops self-advocacy in the classroom and also fosters communication and growth. In regards to our classroom, it's important for us as teachers to provide opportunities for their students to actually use the feedback and to also make connections between the feedback and any improvements they have in their work because they might not often see the connection. So in conclusion, feedback is an extremely powerful tool that we can use in our classrooms. However, we need to acknowledge that it has both positive and negative effects. So it's our responsibility to implement effective strategies in our classrooms so that we have learning-centered classrooms and students with growth mindsets. Thank you all so much.